What is going on, everybody? It is I, the franchise, here with another installment of Wrestle Talk with the franchise. This is it, y'all. Elimination Chamber was the last stop before Philadelphia, before Wrestlemania 40. Arguably, what they are trying to make it be the biggest and the best, the largest WrestleMania in WWE history. This is going to be a quick episode, y'all. You already know how I do my recap shows. We talk about the good, the bad, and what do we see moving forward. So I'm not going to waste any of y'all time. Like I said, going to be a quick one. So because the Elimination Chamber was pretty predictable. It was probably one of the most predictable shows pretty much in the Triple H era. Since Triple H has taken over as chief content officer, this, like I said, was very predictable. I think everyone across the board knew who was winning, what we were going to look forward to. The only thing that kind of threw me off was the Grayson Waller thing. I'm not going to lie to you. I did think that it was going to be something where a challenge was going to be presented, but not with Cody calling out The Rock for any time. But I will get into that later. So, first things first, match of the night to me was the Women's Elimination Chamber. I think that the women have stolen the shows when it comes to these type of matches. You look at the Royal Rumble, the Women's Royal Rumble was better than the Men's Royal Rumble. The Elimination Chamber, same. I will even say maybe the Women's War Games was better. So you're seeing that the women are putting on a better performance than the men are in these type of matches. But Women's Elimination Chamber was my favorite match. I have my performer of the night being Tiffany Stratton. I think, like I said in the prediction show last week, I said I feel like Tiffany Stratton will be the standout of the chamber, and she did not disappoint at all. That is a star in the making. Be on the lookout. I think 2024 is going to be Tiffy time. OMG moment. Probably Tiffany Stratton doing the swanton off the chamber. Like I think, like I said, she was the MVP of the whole entire show in my personal opinion. But yeah, I think that was my OMG moment. Feel good moment, obviously. Rhea Ripley being back home. At the end, when the cameras went off, you really did see the emotion of Rhea Ripley there. Obviously, her parents, her sister was ringside. We seen that. Just a feel-good moment, you know. Even though she is deemed as a heel, but she's one of those heels that the fans love, similar to Roman. I mean, y'all want to sit there and say whatever y'all want to say about Roman, but as I told y'all before, and even O'Shea Jackson Jr. said the same thing, when Roman comes out, everybody stands up, everybody puts their ones up in the air, everyone embraces and cheers for Roman Reigns. So that's that. Like I said, performer was Tiffany. OMG moment, Tiffany. Match of the night, Women's Chamber. Feel good moment was obviously Rhea Ripley. But we now know that it is going to be the man versus the mommy, as we all predicted. I know I said that I was going, my heart wanted me to go with Liv Morgan because of the revenge tour that she wanted to deem. But I do think that Liv may win Money in the Bank and may cash in on Rhea, because I don't see Rhea losing the world the women's world title at WrestleMania. I really don't. I think that she is going to. I've been saying that I want her to dominate Becky, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with this run that she has been on. Then we know about the men's Elimination Chamber. We know that Drew McIntyre will indeed be going on to face Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. You already know how I feel about the whole Seth Rollins Drew McIntyre match. I talked about it last week, and I would continue to talk about it as we lead up to WrestleMania, because I think you're still going to see this pivot or this sense of let's focus on Cody more than focusing on Drew. I think Seth is going to play the ideal of, well, I beat you before, so therefore I'm not worried about facing you again because I beat you twice before. And I think that's going to be the downfall of him. Somewhat like he's going to take him lightly. He's not going to take him that serious, and that's going to be his downfall. I also think with what I think is going to happen, and I talked about this before when maybe 2 episodes ago with The Rock, and after the WrestleMania conference, and I said one of the things that I think we could see is we could possibly see night 1 Rock versus Cody, and if Rock beats Cody, it'll be Rock versus Roman night 2 at WrestleMania. But if Cody ends up winning, then obviously Cody will continue to go forward and try to finish his story. Now, at Elimination Chamber during the Grayson Waller effect, Cody did call out The Rock. He pretty much said, I will fight you anytime, any place, anywhere. This Friday, the Bloodline will be on SmackDown in full, The Rock included. Cody may be there. If that's the case, do not be surprised if The Rock does turn around and say, you want to go one-on-one with the great one, and then go on this whole thing, and then give him the option and say, you know what, you want to face me? Put your WrestleMania spot up on the line. The Rock versus the American Nightmare. The Brahma Bull versus the American Nightmare at WrestleMania night 1. If I beat you, I go on to face Roman Reigns for the biggest main event of WrestleMania history. If you win, you can go on and continue to try to finish your story. But as The Rock said, one way or another, I'm going to stop you from finishing the story. Seth Rollins pretty much told Cody, I will be by your side. So we are going to possibly see Cody, well, Seth in Cody's corner or something to that degree, which is, like I said, is going to cause him to not be focused so much on Drew, and Drew's going to take the world title. Then we had, and mind you, I'm freestyling. I'm freestyling, no real notes. I'm just going on the whim. Then we had, obviously, we did have a pre-show match. We did have the Kabuki Warriors going against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell is an Aussie, so, you know, she got that home country ovation, but the Kabuki Warriors were successful. I'm very curious to see what the angle is going to be with the Kabuki Warriors going into WrestleMania. I do have a feeling that Dakota Kai, because she is clear to compete and she's teaming up with Bayley this Friday to take on the Kabuki Warriors, I can strongly see Dakota Kai turning on Bayley. I can see, because on SmackDown there was an attack, and we didn't see the attack. We just seen that she was walking hurt, and in the training room, and Bayley came out there, and Bayley was kind of like, this is my fault, this and the third, we're gonna get him back, blah blah blah. And now she's clear. They're going to be going with the Kabuki Warriors, and I really feel like Dakota Kai is turning on them. Just because I think that you need the mouthpiece for damage control, the Kabuki Warriors and Io, and I think Dakota Kai is the perfect person to do that. And then you could possibly get Dakota Kai versus Bayley, because I do see a situation where Bayley will win the WWE Women's title, and then we get Bayley versus Dakota Kai. I can see a situation where that comes into play. We had the Undisputed Tag Team titles on the line with the Judgment Day taking on Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate. Good match. Finn, how's your thumb? How's your thumb? Because I don't know exactly what happened, but it didn't look. It was. I hope you don't post the thumb. I know you did it with WrestleMania last year when you had the deep gash in your head. I just hope you don't show your thumb, because it did look, from afar, it looked very nasty. Like it looked like that. But they did retain, the Judgment Day did come out retaining the Undisputed Tag Team titles. There was a moment during the match where there was a side of the crowd that they blacked out. That was because they were calling Dom a slur. They were referring to him as something, and flipping him off. Finn went to the point of saying, "Hey, don't say that. That's not PG." But yeah, Dom was definitely the heel. He was definitely catching nuclear heat over there in Australia. And then Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax. Say what you want to say. I know everybody in the wrestling world has their opinion on Nia Jax and feels like she has been terrible, but Nia Jax has been good since she's come back. I mean, there's really nothing bad you can say about Nia right now. She's been putting on solid matches, coming off as a dominant force. So I'm tip my hat. My hat's over there, but tip my hat to Nia Jax for putting on an amazing performance to her standard. She's really been doing a lot. I'm kind of curious to see what happens with her moving forward. I do see a scenario where, and shout out to the Podfather, shout out to Don Tony, because him and Kevin Castle talked about this. And Don Tony feels like maybe we get Nia Jax versus Jade Cargill at WrestleMania, which then leaves you to think, what are you going to do with Bianca Belair? Now, you could have Bianca versus Tiffany. You could do that. I could see that happening, because you have been seeing somewhat of a build. I still throw out the idea of Bianca and Naomi versus the Kabuki Warriors at WrestleMania. But it's official, man. We are definitely on the road to WrestleMania. It's one more stop, man. We are the last stop, Philadelphia. And I've never been more excited for WrestleMania, because this is the first time where I'm going to say let me take that back. It's not the first time, but in a long time, you're not really sure what's going to happen. Because a lot of people think Cody's going to beat Roman, but what if they don't do that? What if we don't get Cody versus Roman, or what if we don't get Cody finishing the story at WrestleMania? Sorry. What if we don't get that? Y'all know how I feel. I feel like the best way to do it is to have Cody finish the story where the story started. Madison Square Garden. Best way to do it? The first Raw in 2025 on that Netflix deal. You want to get eyes and asses and seats for that big Raw because you know they're going to go all out for it. Have it be Cody versus Roman at the Garden on this Monday to determine the undisputed Universal Champion, because he will surpass Hogan by then. And that's the big thing that everybody wants, is for him to surpass Hogan. Even though there have been people that have come out and said, well, if you look at it, theoretically, he's not the number of days that he's been champion hasn't really been that, and it's trying to do all this stuff, whatever. In the record books, the days that he has held this title, not the days he has defended, but the days he has held the undisputed Universal title, right? It's been this long. So, y'all know I feel like that should happen, but I could see a scenario where Cody does finish the story at Mania. The Rock screws over The Rock screws over Roman, and we can see the beginning of Roman versus Rock at next year's WrestleMania. But we can also see a situation where if that does happen, we could probably see Rock versus Roman at SummerSlam, because you want, as The Rock said, you want to create the long game. He's in the long game. So build a trilogy. Do one at SummerSlam. Do one possibly at their Saudi event. Last one at WrestleMania. You know, because now the Saudi events is not really built on. The Saudi events are not really built as like it doesn't count in the books. Now they are making these things count in the books. So we may see Rock versus Roman at like a Crown Jewel or something like that. But like I said, we are one stop, final stop, WrestleMania. Can't wait for it. I believe this Monday they will start to announce the class of 2024 Hall of Fame. I know a while back ago I said that there was a report of potential people that was going to be inducted. Paul Heyman was one of the names. Bray Wyatt was one of the names. Jim Johnston, he was one of the names, I believe, as well. We'll have to wait and see, but I do know for sure they better induct Paul Heyman in the Hall of Fame. They may put Bray in there. I know a lot of people feel like if Bray gets inducted, you have to induct the Wyatt family in general. You may not. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. But I told you guys, this was not going to be a very long Wrestle Talk. This was not, because Elimination Chamber came and went. Not really much to be said. We know the main matches have been confirmed now. The man versus the. That's a lot of M's. The man versus mommy for the WWE Women's World Heavyweight title. We have Bayley going against Io Sky for the WWE Women's title. We have Drew McIntyre going against Seth freaking Rollins for the WWE World title. And we have Cody Rhodes going up against the undisputed, longest reigning WWE undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion in the modern era. The modern era. Okay? Not the golden age, but the modern era. Roman Reigns. What's going to happen with The Rock? Is Rock and Cody going to face off night one at WrestleMania? We'll probably get that information this Friday on SmackDown with the Bloodline being there. Cody may show up. Seth Rollins has already said that he is going to be a part of this. He's going to be standing by Cody Rhodes' side. Will that have an impact on Seth Rollins going against Drew McIntyre? Let me know in the comments below. This has been Wrestle Talk with the franchise. Make sure that if you are new to this channel, you are subscribed to this channel and you hit that notification bell so you can get updates of when more content is dropping, as I will be doing this almost every week, with the exception of maybe one, but that will be for another day, and I'll explain why whenever that gets confirmed. But I will be putting more content out there, probably leading up to this WrestleMania, since we are literally like, I think it's 42. So we're probably, I think it's 40 days till WrestleMania. So leading up, maybe every episode of Wrestle Talk, I may talk about one of my favorite WrestleMania matches leading up to WrestleMania 40, since it is the 40th edition of WrestleMania. And WWE 2K has their relive WrestleMania moments. So I may do something like that. But I'm out till next week. Make sure that you enjoy all of wrestling. I was going to talk about the O'Shea thing. Not really going to do it now because, I mean, it's kind of ran its course. All we need to know is that AEW fans are probably the worst fan base in all of pro wrestling. I'm out.